Hello, my name is Alexis and I'm Technology Director and Evangelist at Soracom. I'm here in Taipei with Philippe, CTO of UnaBiz. We're really excited to once again take part in Sigfox Connect. In the session today, we're going to talk about our experience delivering IoT at scale. But first of all, Philippe, can you tell us a bit about UnaBiz?
Hi Alexis, thank you. I'm actually really excited to be here to share about this exciting deal we have in Japan with Nichi Gas. But more about UnaBiz. UnaBiz, we are a Sigfox operator in Singapore and Taiwan. We've been there for the past 4 years. But more interestingly, we are also a hardware design house. And to do that, we are based in Taiwan. Taiwan probably one of the best places to design and manufacture all the electronics. You've all probably have toys that have been made in Taiwan, games, and even all the way up to the iPhone. And it's a very specific place. We are here right now in our offices, where we have a team of 50 to deliver that promise of connected objects. And Alexis, can you tell us more about Soracom?
Sure. So at Soracom, we focus on what we call the IoT platform aspect of things. So that includes connectivity, but also includes everything that you would want to have around it, such as automation, management APIs, management interfaces, SDKs, basically all the software aspect that you will have when you're starting to deliver large-scale IoT projects. So following our announcement last year at Sigfox Connect, today we're going to talk more specifically about Nichi Gas. Nichi Gas is a project where we delivered 800,000 devices in Japan, and it's a great opportunity to be here today because it's 1 year on, and everyone was wondering, okay, 800,000 devices, that's a lot. So how are you going to deliver that? Are you even going to make it? So today we're going to describe a bit how we run the project, how we deliver it, and basically how we can do IoT at scale. Philippe, would you like to talk a bit more about the hardware aspect of the project?
Yeah, definitely. So, as you mentioned, this is what I have in hand right now, which is the outer outlook of that space hotel device that has been designed for Nichi Gas. And what is more important, I would say, is what is not seen around that device. Most of the people say, "Oh, it's a funny shape. It looks." There's not many devices that looks like that. Yes, that's one aspect of what we've been doing for Nichi Gas, which is building a device that has the attributes of their own brand. So this device, first of all, was drawn by Nichi Gas, and we have been implementing that, making that a reality. An actual 3D casing with an actual front and back and everything to put all the components inside. But I would say that what is very important is how this design phase is more than just implementing that hardware. That means a lot of thoughtfulness into, for example, designing the back of the device that fits perfectly to the size of a pipe, of a typical gas pipe that exists in Japan, and we'll see later on why this is extremely helpful. Actually, I can even share now. This is a game changer to install this space hotel onto a gas meter, as you can see on the example we have right in front of us. Actually, right now, the time required to do the physical installation of one of these devices is roughly 2 minutes. If you're really fast, you can go down to a minute, but the average measurement we have been done is 2 minutes. And this is extremely important to actually make it possible to deploy that many devices in such a short period of time. Indeed, Nichi Gas has been willing to deploy those 800,000 devices in just a little bit over a year. And this is an extremely fast pace. And this fast pace makes it mandatory to master all the different layers that happens during production. So we've set up, it took us a few months to set up an extremely stable supply chain And by supply chain, it's not just ordering to a factory and then hoping to get the devices. It's about mastering who's providing what and how each component can reach the different checkpoints of that supply chain, and all the way up to logistic by boat to Japan. And we're very proud to say that during this year, of course it's 2020, there is no surprise that there is that COVID-19 situation, and we're really proud to say that, yes, despite few delays, I would say, right at the moment of the highest peak, of the event in China, in the end, all that was caught up, and now we're back on track to deliver those 800,000 devices. And this is really what makes our approach on the hardware side a bit unique. We're kind of a hardware solution provider. We're not just a blend device, etc. It is before it is designed so that afterward it's installed very easily. We also take care of the whole supply chain of every component that is inside, and we control literally every step of manufacturing of production, and then all the way up to logistics, like custom clearance, having the right boats at the right time at the right port. Sometimes it's difficult even to reach the right port, but that's basically what we're doing. That also, of course, includes a lot of testing. A device like this requires its own set of tests, and we do that, of course, with Soracom in Japan, with actual devices, and this is the only way we can guarantee the battery life. This is the only way we can guarantee that this fits the processes that Nichigas and its vendor are able to comply or to apply. And I must admit that it's been very bumpy, but the installation of these devices most of them are almost already produced, and we're now already discussing about the next steps of extending, that unique solution, I would say, to other operators in Japan. And I think it's really important. But at the same time, Alexis, I think what made the success of this solution was not just the hardware side of things. I know Soracom has been doing a lot into supporting also Nichigas for the proper, I would say, pre-project, project, and then delivery of the project. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. Well, so for us it's been a very interesting journey because we come from the software side. So the Sigfox network for us made sense in this project. We need a long battery life. We need something that's scalable, something we can deploy easily in Japan with national coverage. So Sigfox network sort of addressed these challenges. UnaBiz designed a battery that will last us for many, many years. So we know that the hardware aspects are covered, and obviously the supply chain, everything. But what comes with that is sort of the complexity of managing this device's life cycle. And over time, you're going to see that some devices maybe stop transmitting. There can be issues. There can be many conditions that would affect. You would want to have a lot of automations as well. And especially, you're going to want to have your data pipeline, your data integration, with a couple of aspects. One is the installation time. It needs to be fast, both physically, but also in terms of the digital experience. And keeping in mind that for Nichigas, this is a digital transformation project. So they need all that data to be readily available to work out of the box. So we bring the platform to sort of streamline all that data, provide APIs, real-time APIs that will give access to that data, and therefore create automation around it. And in the end, it's basically the power of the clouds coming in there, all the data analytics, the pluggability, the APIs that sort of make the project work together. Philippe, I'd like to react on one thing you said.
Oh, which one?
You said you can install in 2 minutes.
Yes.
I'd like to challenge you to show us.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
So we're going to install this one. We've done actually. We're going to share with you a video where we are doing the installation. I could do it now, but I think the video will show a much more detailed aspect of things. So let's watch this video together. As you can see in the screen, every device is provided in a nice box. Every device is protected individually using bubble wrap, and it comes with few accessories, more specifically the cable ties. So first step of the installation is opening up the NCU device, which happens by one screw that you need to remove. So it's just one screw, and then the device is actually shipped with the battery unplugged. And by plugging it, it starts automatically a testing sequence that is shown by an LED that is providing feedback. During the initialization, then the operator can mount the two data cables to the existing meters, which is extremely simple. I would say just two screws to unscrew and screw with the cable inside, and a last click on the button inside to confirm installation. We seal everything up. Again, the mechanical joint is done first, then we use the final screw to finish it. So only a single screw to hold everything together. Then comes the attachment of the NCU itself to the pipe, and of course this happens only after the test has been successful. So this is extremely, the design has been that there is just enough space under this top and bottom notch so that the cable ties can fit perfectly, can pass through, and we guarantee to hold tight those NCUs even if there are typhoons or strong winds, which happens in Japan. And as you see, that takes roughly 2 minutes.
Wow, so it is a reality.
It is a reality.
It's quite impressive.
And you know, some operators are faster, and they can. We've seen some going below a minute, but the usual would be 2 minutes. So that's the average split across the different installation teams. But actually, I've mentioned it during the video. There is another step also that's actually Soracom is providing, which is kind of in the middle, where we put the battery on the device, and then there is some software magic happening. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure, why don't we watch the demo as well? So here you see our Space Portal app, and basically when you open the device, you're going to scan a QR code. So that's one way of identifying your device. We attach the device to the cloud, and we tell the Nishigas cloud, okay, your device is online. What happened in the meantime is that the installer will switch on the device, and it will start transmitting data. That's very important because we want to make sure that the device communicates correctly. And here you see the data is received successfully, so there's usually a bit of a delay between the two steps. And so we know the device works. The last step for the installer is to take a photo of the counter, make sure it's installed, and that's it. We have a device deployed, that's up and running, and the customer is connected. So we saw that treating sort of large-scale IoT projects, such as we did as a partnership, can be very beneficial to the customer. And this is really something we believe in. Like, such project takes so many skill sets. Like, even when you think about hardware and software, these are such different sort of knowledge base for the teams, for the experience and everything. And when you add in a customer on top of that, you know, in our case, is a gas provider, you know, they are doing a digital transformation, something that is new for them. So what we're trying to say in this presentation today is that finding the right set of partners, and I don't mean vendors, I mean partners, to work on such projects and having a reality check on your skill set, what you're capable of doing. But also in our case, we were the first contact for Nishigas, and we knew that hardware would be a challenge for us. That's why we brought in UnaBiz. And then that relationship, that ecosystem, is what enabled us to deliver IoT at scale. And we really believe this is the way forward for delivering more and more large-scale projects. Maybe
Yeah.
Philippe, you have different views as well.
I would even add what you mentioned after the skill set is that is actually mandatory. There is so much, I would say, so-called partners that actually are not limiting themselves of doing something right. They want to do everything. And put it in another words, they are more following a business model that they try to follow rather than fitting into a partnership between different companies to serve an actual use case or an actual customer. And this is, I think, one of the key success of that Nichi Gas project, Space Hotel. We have been so many feedback of companies asking us, but how could UnaBiz, a non-Japanese company, work so well with either Soracom and even Nichi Gas? And I think in the end, it's not just about technology. As you say, it's not just about having a vendor. This is about that partnership into a common direction. And that direction has been, for quite some while now, between Soracom and UnaBiz to see that massive scale IoT projects happening for real. Nichi Gas being one of that example. But that vision was also shared by Nichi Gas. And when you align all our companies together, the result is what we've seen with that project for now. And I can just imagine that there should be probably much more projects of that type, which is at scale, I would say, IoT at scale, that would benefit from both the expertise, yes, but also that partnership which helps you go through hardship. I mean, come on, 2020, again, COVID-19. It's a difficult year, but this project has been non-stop going forward, just like some others. And this can only happen when we share some common values. This can only happen when we're very clear on our objective rather than just buying a product, rather than just delivering a service. I think this makes a big difference. This is probably the biggest takeaway I would take from Nichi Gas up to now, which is that excellent partnership, and where, as you say, everyone brings what they know best, and just do it well. And this is the only way to bring it at scale. Yeah.
Would you agree when I say that sort of our customer-centric view of bringing a solution to market has been a key enabler in that project?
Absolutely. The customer-centric is one, but that customer is actually still was really willing to adapt and find out what is the best solution for him. Rather than process A, process B, process C. This is what we want as standard. And most of the time, it's very difficult to fit into all these boxes, I would say, because at the same time, you want all of that in a very limited amount of time. So in the end, that's why that those non-continuous exchange between the operation side of things, the platform side of things, software, as you say, but also the hardware plus supply chain, how we can vary on the logistic, how many boats are we sending out, what's the capacity of unloading. All these seems like far details, but without those in mind, this project for sure couldn't have reached its current success.
And I think that's one of the big complexity you have with IoT today, where this is such an area, that digital transformation, that availability of networks to provide connectivity for devices, and for the first time, really getting hardware and software having to work hand in hand at a scale that we've never seen before. I think this is what needs to drive the solution mindset and sort of that creativity around the processes, because otherwise we can deliver IT projects, but delivering at scale is such a different game to play. And I'm glad we're here today actually to show what we could achieve in the last year with Nichi Gas. So Philippe, any last closing words for the presentation?
Thank you, Alexis, for hosting this session, and really looking forward to discuss with you if you have additional questions. I believe there will be channels that are enabled to discuss. But I guess that's it for today. It was an awesome time. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippe.
Thank you.